two, one. Coach, please introduce yourself and what you work on with the track team.
All right, my name is Coach Jasmine Rhodes.
Hey, what's happening, everybody? Just in here cutting these videos up real quick. Got to get these videos lined out so we can actually start building a story for the final edit. So hey, I appreciate you coming by. We're gonna enjoy ourselves. Hey, look, if you got any questions, please feel free to chime in and let me know. And what you work on with the track team.
All right, my name is Coach Jasmine Rhodes. This is my second year at Episcopal. I am the sports performance director and coordinator here, working with the track and field team. I train every single event and anybody that really comes into the weight room to get this work. Room to get this work.
So this being second year, and you've trained athletes that have now won two SPC state championships, both boys and girls. You have to absolutely know that you are very, very much a part of the reason why you're being able to keep these guys in shape, healthy, conditioned, and ready to be in peak performance. I gotta ask you, what makes Episcopal track different from any other program?
Discipline comes in. I think that separates us from any other program, honestly. Honestly, for sure. I think that program, honestly, for sure. I think that the beauty in, for sure. For sure. I, for sure. For sure. Honestly, I think that honestly. I think I think I think I think I think that I think I think that I think honestly 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 I think honestly I think honestly I think that think that I think honestly I think that honestly I think that honestly I think honestly I honestly honestly I think that honestly I think that honestly I think that I think that Hi, my name is Coach Jasmine Rhodes. This is my second year at Episcopal. I am the sports performance director and coordinator here, working with the track and field team. I train every single event and anybody that really comes into the weight room to get this work. Episcopal track is very disciplined, and the expectation and the standards are always extremely high. So any athlete that wants to be involved, any athlete that wants to find that space where they fit in, they know that it comes along with hard work, it comes along with dedication, with late evenings and showing up even when you don't feel like it, because that's where the discipline comes in. I think that separates us from any other program, honestly. I think that the beauty in seeing the growth of athletes is that they have an example ahead of them. So although we did have a great group of kids that left the year before, those upcoming seniors and those rising freshmen and sophomores saw what, again, the expectations were, how to move, and it just kind of trickled down. It's a domino effect. So into the off season leading into it, just being more intentional, knowing that the type of athletes that we have are here and want to show up and want to get better and want to continue to learn. Like, that buy-in is huge to get from every single athlete out there, and I think it starts with the students and the athletes that are in front of them, not just myself or the coaches.
Right.
In front of them, not just myself or the coaches. In front of them, not just myself or the coaches. We have a really great off-season program, and although it can't be ready to go, Coach Coleman is the quarterback. Coach Coleman is the leader. He sees things before it happens. He's an awesome communicator. He has literally been the head of this program and putting people in the right places to lead. You know, he's not a micromanager. He's a delegator because he trusts who he puts in those positions to know what they're doing, and he lets us rock and roll. And I think that creates a space, again, of trust. It creates a space of feeling like, okay, we can try this to see if this is going to work, knowing that he'll back us up 100%. So him being who he is, his encouragement, him trusting, at least myself, I'll speak for myself, it helps a ton to be able to show up every day for him and for the program and for the athletes. For the athletes.
Right. So now,
for him and for the program and for the athletes.
right. So now for you, from your standpoint, you're one of those. You're one of those staff members that was kind of like, I kind of put it in the same breath as a teacher that watches a young child come into school and next thing you know it's time to graduate. You gotta say bye to them.
Right.
That's just part of life's journey. But at the same time, you get a chance to see them at one point and you see them leave you at another point.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have any of those for kids that are now leaving where when they first came to you, they were in one state, but when they left you, they were a completely different athlete? There we go. Okay, yep. So again, I'm just going through and trimming up a lot of the space. Right now, I'm just going through all the interviews and pulling out my questions, and then I'll go back in and just kind of fine tune all the responses. Try to cut out as many ands and ums and stutters or pauses too long that we really can't use right there at that spot. Because ultimately, what we're going to have to do is we're going to take all these different components, go back through, and then kind of compartmentalize them to tell a story. Basically, we'll be able to take all these different individual parts from all of the responses, and we'll use that to tell a story. So we've got both the A cam shot. Let you see here, we've got both an A cam shot, and then we also have a B cam shot. So we'll be cutting back and forth between the A cam and the B cam, and then that pretty much will be it. So we'll go in, of course, we'll begin to overlay a lot of our footage, game footage, all that stuff. But we've got a lot of interviews to go in and basically get them, good and cleaned up. So that's what we're doing.
Yes and athletes. Yes and no. I came in, this is my second year, so I kind of caught the wave of kids leaving in as juniors and seniors, if that makes sense. So I didn't get a chance to like a really big leap, but I did see a change again. As well.
Now, in your words, what has Coach Coleman meant to this program and this coaching staff?
Uh, Man, he's been a rock solid foundation for myself, and especially for this program. Like I said, he's an extremely great leader. He's an effective communicator. He keeps an open door policy. I never, for myself speaking, I never feel like I'm walking on eggshells and I can't be myself around him. And I think he has that same policy and same influence on the students, on the athletes, and on the rest of the staff as well. So that just creates again a space to feel safe, to feel wanted and to feel needed and respected. And as much as he gives it, he gets it from us as well. So he's literally the rock and the foundation of this program. So it's amazing to have him and to learn from him and to be guided by him.
So we've got the A track, we've got the A footage, the A camera footage, and then we have the B camera footage, right? So this right here is our A cam footage. This basically is our wide shot. We've got for the entire interview, and then this one turned on is the B camera footage that we have for all of our close-ups. And we'll definitely be going in a little bit tighter because I kind of don't like this. But once I've gone in and done my actual grade on it, and I've already done one for a reel that I posted, but once I do that, then I know we've got some good content with it as far as these interviews, for all the interviews. Once we have went through and cut everything, and the reason why I'm able to cut both of them at the same time is because I was recording them both at the same time, and also I have the footage linked together. So the A footage cam and the audio and the video are also synced up with the B camera video and audio. So right now we're good on that. So every cut I make, I can go back and forth. As long as I don't move anything around, then I won't lose my spot. So right now, like I said, I'm just cutting out all of my questions so that the only thing that I'm actually looking at and editing is each coach's responses. And so, they all pretty much had the same questions. I may have kind of thrown something in there if I'm kind of lightening up the space and kind of getting folks comfortable with things. But I can kind of look here and see like where my questions begin, where my questions stop, where their questions begin, where their questions stop. Like this right here is her last response.
Paid off. Champions.
And I always try to at least go like a few frames after they respond to their question, because you never know, how you'll need that to feed into something else, or if you need to maybe even elongate it. Just let them know right now. Let them know right now.
I think
you want to just let him know right now.
I think the beautiful part is that he's still going to be around, but for this specific coaching era, I'm grateful to just have been a part of his circle. Again, be a part of learning from him. He's put a lot of things on my plate and in my lap for me to bite off of his fruit. Everything that he's grown over the years and everything that he's put into this program, it never goes unnoticed. And I'm just extremely grateful for him. I'm extremely grateful for the trust that he's put in myself, that he's carried over to the staff, that's carried over to the athletes. Again, it helps with the buy-in, especially someone like myself still being, this is my second year, so the kids are still trying to get a feel for me. And it helps when the coach feels that energy head on and the kids follow. So I appreciate you, Coach Coleman. You're going to be greatly missed. And it's always a pleasure. Thank you so much for your love, for your support, and for your guidance.
Another one done. So right now, this is kind of where we're at right now. if I would want to go ahead and just kind of.
Hi, my name is Coach Jasmine Rhodes. This is my second year at Episcopal. I am the sports performance director and coordinator here, working with the track and field team. I train every single event and anybody that really comes into the weight room to get this work. Episcopal track is very disciplined, and the expectation and the standards are always extremely high. So any athlete that wants to be involved, any athlete that wants to find that space where they fit in, they know that it comes along with hard work, it comes along with dedication, with late evenings and showing up even when you don't feel like it, because that's where the discipline comes in. I think that separates us from any other program, honestly. I think that the beauty in seeing the growth of athletes is that they have an example ahead of them. So although we did have a great group of kids that left the year before, those upcoming seniors and those rising freshmen and sophomores saw what, again, the expectations were, how to move, and it just kind of trickled down. It's a domino effect. So into the off season leading into it, just being more intentional, knowing that the type of athletes that we have are here and want to show up and want to get better and want to continue to learn. Like, that buy-in is huge to get from every single athlete out there, and I think it starts with the students and the athletes that are in front of them, not just myself or the coaches. We have a really great off-season program, and although it can't be mandated to every athlete, it is available to every athlete, especially when they want to be a part of this program. And we had a good turnout, and they stayed consistent, and I was able to really build a foundation from the ground up, starting with ISOs, leading into injury preventions, talking about nutrition, and it just literally built up into the actual season. So by the time the season came, we were ready to go. Coach Coleman is the quarterback. Coach Coleman is the leader. He sees things before it happens. He's an awesome communicator. He has literally been the head of this program and putting people in the right places to lead. You know, he's not a micromanager. He's a delegator, because he trusts who he puts in those positions to know what they're doing, and he lets us rock and roll. And I think that creates a space, again, of trust. It creates a space of feeling like, okay, we can try this to see if this is going to work, knowing that he'll back us up 100%. So him being who he is, his encouragement, him trusting, at least myself, I'll speak for myself, it helps a ton to be able to show up every day for him and for the program and for the athletes. Yes and no. I came in, this is my second year, so I kind of caught the wave of kids leaving in as juniors and seniors, if that makes sense. So I didn't get a chance to see like a really big leap, but I did see a change, again, in discipline. I did see a change in them coming into the weight room more from my first year to my second year, which in my mind shows that they find value in that space, that it's not just something that's talked about, it's something where they feel as though they can walk the walk. And I think the beautiful part in that is building the confidence of the athletes in that space. They may not get it right away, they may not understand it right away, but do you feel confident enough to just come in and get a workout and know that it's going to turn over to your sport and also make you better while keeping you healthier, like longevity within the sport and season as well? Man, he's been a rock solid foundation for myself, and especially for this program. Like I said, he's an extremely great leader. He's an effective communicator. He keeps an open door policy. I never, for myself speaking, I never feel like I'm walking on eggshells, that I can't be myself around him. And I think he has that same policy and same influence on the students, on the athletes, and on the rest of the staff as well. So that just creates, again, a space to feel safe, to feel wanted and to feel needed and respected. And as much as he gives it, he gets it from us as well. So he's literally the rock and the foundation of this program. So. Because nothing was handed to them. Like you said, we lost a really big group of athletes that kind of formed the foundation of track and field. And now we're building up this next generation of athletes to be just as good, if not better. And now their confidence is rising. They believe in themselves more, and it took some ups and downs. Just like Coach Coleman said, we had some work to do, but they did not give up. So this team was really built around resilience, and they showed it throughout the entire season, and it paid off. Champions. I think the beautiful part is that he's still going to be around, but for this specific coaching era, I'm grateful to just have been a part of his circle, again, to be a part of.
Okay, so just here real quick, just to kind of recap for a couple that have, for a couple of you that have come in. Let me see here. You know, basically, what we're doing is just kind of going through, and right now, I've got a number of interviews with coaches for a program that just won the fourth state championship. And so, long story short, what we're doing is we're just going through right now, the cutting out all the parts of the interviews that we're not going to air. We're not going to actually show. We had a 2-camera setup, an A camera setup, and a B camera setup. And so, of course, this is going to be, like I said, I mean, this was, and man, I had to work some magic because I've got one is a Black Magic, the other is a Canon, and so they just kind of shoot differently. But a lot of the things about them are the same, and they're both crop sensors. And I was really able to, because I've already actually done a grade, which I'm gonna probably consider to be my final working grade. But these are all fresh. That grade was for a quick reel, pretty short afterward, just for the client. But we've got A camera footage, which is my wide shot. We've got our B camera footage, which is my close up. What I've done is I just stacked them up on top of each other because the recordings were done simultaneously, and then I just auto synced each one of the with the 2 camera shots, because starting out is just 2 shots. Now we've got multiple clips in here, but if you look, you can select the clips that you want to auto sync, and you can select it to where it'll auto sync. Like when I come here and I go to auto align clips, then I can choose either my waveform or my time code. I choose waveform, and then I just click on sync, and it automatically will sync them up. And if there's any misalignment, you'll be able to see it and test it right there, and then you can go ahead and get those tracks all the way evened out. So I've gone in, and every place where I was asking a question, I've removed my question and that portion of the actual video. And a lot of times, you could probably actually use some of that in case you want to be able to have some camera time just for like a pause. Because when they're just looking and waiting on the question, they're still looking in that space that you've designated for them on the interview. But that'll give you some extra footage to be able to use maybe in some other spots if you just need to get a blank stare or need to get some quiet or something like that. But so yeah, so we've gone in, we've organized the A and the B footage. I've also gone in and synced and cleaned up the audio, because right now we're only previewing the audio from one track, because it's just, to me, it's the better quality audio. I have a lot more room to play with it, and so we'll probably be using this one here on the top. Because for some reason I couldn't get my mic to work with my Black Magic. I was like, man, what in the world is going on with these settings? But once I plugged in, I got a Rode NTG mic. I plugged that into the Canon, and I was able to get everything to go right off the bat, and it sounds good. I mean, it sounds like what you hear now, and that's with no voice isolation or anything. So I haven't done any kind of editing at all on the audio. That'll take place kind of once we start mixing and mastering this bad boy. Outside of that, once I get all of the interviews done, so I'll come back. I've got this interview here. Just gonna do this. I've got this interview done. We've got this interview done. That interview done. This interview done. This one, and now we're on this one. Once we get, I've got 3 more to go. So once I get all 3 done, then I also have some interviews from last year that we're going to bring over into this project file, and then we'll start combining everything to actually build our story. So the first thing that you have to absolutely do when you are editing these interviews is you've got to go in and you got to clean up all the spaces. Because what you don't want to do, because it'll definitely slow you down. What you don't want to do is is go in and have, you know, story files where you've got to go in now, you've got to redo audio, or you've got to clip out the interview questions, or a lot of ahs and ums and stuff, because that'll just kind of mess up the flow. So if you do this upfront work right out the gate, if you do this part of the work right out the gate, then when it comes time to piecing everything together to tell a full story, I mean, you can do that for hours and hours and hours. I mean, it's literally, I think, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Was it 9 interviews? Out of those 9 interviews, I mean, they're all probably about, I don't know, maybe about, well, this one here is saying it's 5 minutes. I mean, I think we did 5 questions each, and then a couple we might have done, 6 or 7. So we're probably looking at, roughly between 5 and 10 minutes of responses, and we've got 90 of them. So this could be some great content. I mean, especially for keepsake, for the purpose of what this video is going to be for. Yeah, it's going to be fresh to death. So and I mean, and one of the brutal things about this is that you won't be able to use it all. So you'll take the best of the best, and then you'll go back in again, and then you'll start combining these responses, from one interviewee and another, and then you'll also take the best of those until you can combine enough of the sound bites into a full story, and you literally can just do that. One of the things that you can also do is even just in here, like for example, if I double click on this, it's going to take me up here where I'm going to have a certain amount.
I think the beautiful part is that he's still going
Turn that down. So
to be around, but for this specific coaching era, I'm grateful to just have been a part of his circle. Again, to be a part of learning from him. He's put a lot of things on.
And so, I know, like, let me see here for a second. I've got, this is the phone I have over here. Let me see if I can mute that so it's not, taking up anything. So, the good thing is that by the time I get down in here, I can literally take each one of these sections and create an individual, subclip, and I can title it. And because I'm titling it, I can also export that into a list, because it'll just be a list of files that'll have these names, and I can go through and piece by piece, I can build a story that way, because it's going to be sound bites, and then we'll do some J cuts and L cuts by using the actual track and field footage that we have from the actual meets. So yeah, we're moving right along in this thing, and making a lot of progress. So now we're getting ready to go over here to, I mean, I pretty much have gone.
I think the beautiful part is that he's still going to be around, but for this specific coaching era, I'm grateful to just have been a part of his circle. Again, to be a part of, I think he has that same policy and same influence on the students, on the athletes, and on the rest of the staff. So this team was really built around resilience. And
sets of interviews to cut through. I mean, like I said, they're all the same. Like this one was 7 minutes. I don't know, maybe I was long-winded, maybe they were long-winded, but I can even look through here, because the mic was further away from me and closer to the subject. So I can even look through here and see where I'm speaking versus where they're speaking, just by looking at the waveform. You see here, like just by looking at the waveform, I can kind of see, this is where they're speaking, this is where they're speaking, this is, so I, kind of a shortcut, but I don't like to do that, because I don't want to make a mistake of cutting out something that we may can keep. And so here is our A cam. This is our B cam shot right here. And then this is our A cam shot right here. So we'll be cutting back and forth between these two, just kind of add some, some variety and some interest into. I've got a music track up here that I've already marked in. You can look here, you can see where I've marked off all the different beats that I would consider to be interesting. And so since I did that in the actual audio file itself, by itself, I can come in here and put this in here and just put it in there, just for a little, like I said again, just for some interest. I don't know why. I mean, I may some reason my audio here is not on, but probably because I just started doing quite a bit of other stuff as far as like getting everything set up and coordinated with OBS to be able to run this live. So let me check that out real quick and see what the deal is. Come into my DaVinci preferences and check something out. Did it again. We got another. Let's go ahead and edit this up. I'll make this the last one. It's pretty repetitive, but something has to be done. Get the official process. So we've got everything synced up. So yeah, we've got, again, I've got my B camera on the top. I've got my A cam on the bottom, because that'll pretty much be my performance. And then also, we have, of course, our audio for both the A cam and B cam. And so one of the things that I did, I'll move this over here real quick. Like for example, I'll move that like that, right? Just kind of move it out of place. This right here is my A camera footage. And you can see the audio waveform for both, right? You can select both clips, do a right click, and then go to auto align clips, and I'm going to choose waveform, not time code, but waveform. Then I'll click on sync. It's going to do its magic, and bam, there we go. So that right there will ensure that regardless of which clip that I'm looking at, the audio is still the same, and then I'll be choosing the best audio. And then, once we doctor that audio up in Fairlight on the back end, when we get ready to mix and master this thing, then, we'll be good to go. So you can see, watch this. Did it again. I have the audio. We got another state championship up under your belt. How do you feel?
I feel great. I'm not surprised, but I mean, who doesn't love to win?
Right. So I've got to ask. Because they're synced up, it doesn't matter which camera I'm looking at, the audio is going to be on point.
Decide to step up. We've had a loaded team, so juniors have stepped up.
Yep. And that's how we do it. So now we got to get my voice out of there, and we only want her interview responses. I'm going to duplicate this. And then I'll solo this along with this and just kind of turn it down some. Yeah, here we go. I like it. And because they're synced up, wherever I cut one, it's going to cut at the other in the exact spot. So this way, we're not having to go through and do this for 2 separate shots and then go back in. That's just a big mess. So now, and again, like I said, because of where the mic is placed, you can see where the strong responses are versus the weaker. The weaker will be mine because the mic was a lot further away from me and focus more for where the interviewee was sitting at. So here we go. All right, Coach Anthony. Coach, introduce yourself and what events and athletes do you work with? There we go. So now, look, basically you're kind of watching this waveform. And you got to watch it. Like you see here, I can see that this is my voice right here, and this is hers. So let me come back a little bit. And athletes do you work with? Right there. So now I've got a shortcut key on here. I'm going to use that. Let me see. Let me cut my, right there.
I'm Coach.
Trim that. I'm trimming the beginning of that so that way, and you'll see this is going to come down more and more and more as we go along and remove all of my parts versus their parts. So now,
I'm Coach O, Milano Sepuge. I do the long jump, triple jump, and the high jump here at Episcopal High School.
All right, I'm going to cut it right there. I'm going to select these so that way the next time I trim to the end will be once she starts talking again, which looks like it's going to be here.
I feel great. I'm not surprised. I feel great. I'm not surprised. But, I mean, who doesn't love to win?
Okay, I'm going to cut that there. And let's see. I'm not sure.
Right. So I got to ask you, the last couple of years, you guys kind of just run away with it. Yeah. And, but you lost some pretty stellar athletes, the graduation, the kids, being able to move on. What has allowed this team to sustain success and keep winning year after year?
Well, right there. She's getting ready to talk. I can see it. This is gonna give me a little bit of extra room on here. I'm gonna zoom in here so you can see. See, it's giving me a little extra room before she talks. We're talking about frames,
Win. Well, you have win.
There we go now.
Win. Win.
So now we've got that. There's a little bit of tail end on there, but I'm cool because it leaves like a little expression. If I wanted to cut to somebody else after that, then I feel comfortable with this amount being left over with no additional audio, and it could go right into it as opposed to me trying to add something on there immediately after she says the last syllable of her word. So just kind of keep it going.
Well, you have younger athletes who decide to step up. We've had a loaded team, so juniors have stepped up and become winners if they weren't already winning, but we've had a few freshmen or sophomores to come back from being freshmen that have shown up, and what we practiced their freshman year, they came back with more confidence, and it surprised a lot of us coaches, and I think that's what it takes. You figure out what we do freshman year, and you come and you start to put it together, and so we can accredit those sophomores.
Right. So in your words, what makes Episcopal like such a different standout program from those other programs that you've seen yourself?
If we talk in track and field, a lot of the coaches on our staff have done track and field at very high levels. If not just college, we've gone on to continue to compete professionally. And so if you have that insight and you know what it takes, and you're able to instill it in the kids, and you have that just that fire behind the sport, it flows into the kids, and I think that's what keeps us going. You keep it simple. The more simple it is, the better outcome you have, and that's what I do, and that's how they help me. If I can quote unquote dumb it down to people that I've never done before. It also opens up my eyes and helps me figure out things on my own. So it's a give take. They help me, I help them, and I'm excited to keep doing it. I think we can learn. We learn by doing. We learn by seeing. I try to demonstrate as little as I can because it can be a lot of load on me and my training as well. It's just keeping it simple. Working on one thing at a time. Once we can work on the most approach for our jumps, we work on that. We start at the beginning and we keep on progressing.
How, like, when you meet a kid and you see that they have potential to be able to
With excitement, I let them know what I see, because a lot of times they don't see it in themselves. That they haven't done track and field on a serious level, and I just let them know, like, hey, you got what it takes. You got the capability to do and be better. Get it done. The love that we all have for each other. I think what Coach Coleman has done with this program has been inspiring, something that a lot of us haven't seen. And lit. I can't wait to see what you do next.
Got it. It's another one. All right. Okay. All right. We got, what, two more. I think we might go ahead and do this one too. Well, now, you know what? I'll tell you what. So I've done, I think, what, three? I did a couple on TikTok. Wait a minute. Let me see. Short. You know what? I can probably, let's see. I can probably go ahead and knock this one down real quick. Yeah. There we go. And 3, 2. All right, Coach. Introduce yourself and tell us, what do you coach here at Episcopal?
My name is William Gibbs, Houston native, Booker T. Washington, track and field.
All right, we'll go ahead and do this one. Get it done. Get it wrapped up. And 3. Let me see here real quick. 3, 2. All right, Coach, introduce yourself and tell us, what do you coach here at Episcopal? I'm gonna run through this one. Look, I'm gonna run through this one and show you, like, once you get it going and start getting efficient, you get some miles up under you, you can knock these interviews out real quick just by kind of using some of these quick tips. So, like I said, the mic is gonna be a lot further. If you're not in the shot, then the mic is gonna be a little further from you than it is for them. So you can almost kind of look at your waveform and see where you got to cut. But also you can use your shortcut keys in DaVinci
My name is William Gibbs, Houston native, Booker T. Washington, track. My name is Field football, preseason athlete, ran track University.
Now I'm gonna stop it. I'm gonna cut it right there. I'm gonna come back over. I say he's gonna start talking again right here, so I'm gonna go ahead and move that. I'm gonna trim it about right there, because remember, we're just kind of getting this thing lined up so we can begin to.
I think it's very unique. Year after year, we have many coaches meetings, and I think Coach Coleman does a really good job of facilitating everybody's needs. So it's very good that we work together, and he lets everybody kind of do his thing, do their own thing, but organized. So the team works very well together. The coaches work very well together. Even when we overlap athletes, overlap different workouts, we got different spreadsheets, just different mechanisms that we use that we're all on the same page. The uniqueness of everybody is the culture that we build here. It's fun. We work hard, and we set the tone and expectations very early on in the season. We always win championships afterwards.
So I'm gonna cut it right there. I'm gonna come back over where it looks like he starts talking, which is about right here. Come right here. I'm gonna select it all. Bam. I'm gonna trim it to the end over there. And we'll do the same thing all the way through. But now now look at this. I want to make sure I don't make any mistakes and cut out something important. So I'm gonna go ahead and start.
That's an excellent question. I get asked that every year. Many different programs, different coaches ask me the same question. At Episcopal High School, I'm fortunate to be able to co-head that event with Lawrence Smith, who's another incredible coach, and she ran professionally and has been coaching for years. We work very well together. There's no real secret. There's no real method to the madness. We just are very dialed in.
Cut. Alright. We come through. We go right here. Next one. Alright.
I would just say it's the winning culture. It is the way that the coaches push these kids, but also it's Episcopal has built this culture that is fun. It's they know we're gonna work hard year after year. We don't always get the best athletes. I know some programs think that we do. Some programs think that we overly recruit, and we don't. We are pretty much natural standards along the lines with everybody else. We just coach very well. We do actual professional development. That we're going to get better.
Right there. Cut. Come through over here. Put my marker down right there, and I'm gonna put it where trim that to the end.
Words couldn't even describe how big that role that he's played. It's been monumental. I love his coaching style. I love his
and you have to spot check yourself.
It's gonna be hard to feel.
Bam, you can kind of see it right there. Now I'm not sure, so I'm gonna keep on. Okay. So, what makes Episcopal track different from other programs that you've seen? Okay, here we go.
I think what makes us different. And that's a good question, right? I've seen other programs and I've seen other schools.
Okay, let me see, just in case we keep it. I'm not sure if we're going to keep it.
I've seen other programs and I've seen other schools and the way they operate, and the best ones that mimic each other are the relationships that the coaches have with the athletes. I think that when coaches and athletes genuinely have a good connection, and when they genuinely understand each other better, then it just makes the program, it makes training fun, even for a coach. It's like I desire to be out there on the track, anticipating when practice is going to start, because I understand me and this athlete are dialed in. And I think that we get that a lot at Episcopal. Also, we have plenty of coaches, which the biggest thing that I see at Episcopal that we excel in is we cover everything. So each coach, whether it be pole vault, high jump, triple jump, long jump, the throws, distance, each kid gets their own individual coaching from different coaches. We also collab very well. Every year, the distance coaches bring me a steeplechase runner, and I teach them how to hurdle. They go out there and set a couple of personal bests, personal records. Same thing with the 400, 200, anybody who needs block work. I'm very dialed in when it comes to blocks. It's one of my specialties. And, we just having that relationship with the athletes and them believing in us as much as we believe in them, it makes it for a combination that's unstoppable. The athletes and them believing in us as much as we believe in them, it makes it for a combination that's unstoppable.
We almost to the end now.
Hopefully, I would like for everybody to remember that we were diligent. I would like for people to remember that we made the sport fun. I would like for people to remember that every year the plans were consistent and they were the same. I would like for people to remember in this legacy that winning was just a part of the equation. It was always part of the equation. I think if any student or athletes that are in middle school that are thinking about what track program to look at, I think that they should really be looking at Episcopal High School, because the improvements each kid makes here, where they come in and they could be on the bottom tier of just their athletic ability, but when they get here, the off-season training, the collaboration that we have with the strength and conditioning coach, Rose, she does a very good job, and she's recently new on staff, but it's the way we collab here, and it's the way that we push these kids over and over and over and over and over. We don't really take no for an answer, if I'm being honest. Like, you're not going to skip our practices. You're not going to skip the weight room. You're not, especially with Coach Gibbs, you're not going to skip recovery, right? So it's like we hit all those times these kids, they respect us, and they really.
Okay, let me see here. Now, if this doesn't work out, this will give me an opportunity also to be able to show you how it'll give me an opportunity to be able to show you how, if audio is misaligned, what one of the things is that you can actually do. So we'll see. I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna take these two, and let's see if we can get the auto align to work through the waveform. Okay, it moved a little bit. Let's see.
Mentally. So a lot of times these kids, they respect us, and they really listen to us, and they take our words, and they utilize them very well, and not just in track and field, but in the classroom, outside the classroom. It's like I mentioned earlier, that personal relationship is very.
Bam, right there. So you saw how when we did the auto sync, it synced both of them. So now I'm gonna cut it right here to make sure that nothing doesn't get.
They respect us, and they really listen to us, and they take our words, and they utilize them very well, and not just in the track and field, but in the classroom, outside the classroom. It's like
go ahead and come here and
it's rewarding, and it's worth it.
Okay. See, and then we know that very last one. Say out loud in public right now. Trim that off the end.
Brother Coleman, we love you. We appreciate you. It's been wonderful working with you. I know that who you are as a person, who you are as a coach, is the accolades don't really do you justice. There should be more awards that you deserve. And I just know that each endeavor that you have in the future, you're gonna do it with excellence. You're gonna do it with class. And you're going to be a leader, and you're going to lead in all examples. So I just want to say, we appreciate you, all the coaches. I appreciate you and what you've done for the program, what you've done for us, and how you've consistently been there.
Right there, we'll leave that right there. That's a great spot. And I'm going to come and cut it again right here. That way, we got everything. So whatever, I think that up here the B camera just stopped recording, so we probably wouldn't use this unless it's something that's leading up to where we can be able to cut back into him over here with some B-roll over the top, of course. So yeah, I mean there's all kinds of ways that we'll be able to use this, and right now, this is just what it is. This is just what it is. So now we're good. We're good. So now we've got one more. Do this one? I think I might have actually, wait a minute, did I already do this one? I think I may have already done this one. People see the championships, but what they don't see.
Children, track and field athletes look and say, hey, you know what? They actually have, not only do they offer
pole vault, but they have somebody that can coach it, or somebody that can coach shot put, disc, or somebody that can coach hurdles.
And we actually do have, oh wow. Yep. So his interview was 28 minutes. However, this is the man. This is the head coach. This is the reason for the season right now. So we'll probably end up doing something completely isolated for that. But yeah, and it's flat out deserved. But again, like I said, I think I may have actually, his is 28 minutes long. So, and I believe I actually believe I already have all of my questions. Well, my questions taken out. Yeah, I think this right here. Is this testing right here? Or was this? Wait, let me see. Let me normalize the audio levels real quick. Just in case. We're gonna start here, but yeah, I actually think this right here was just a period where I was just kind of getting some things set up on the oh wow, yeah, on the yeah, I don't think even think he was saying anything. I don't think I had audio. Yeah, that's right, audio wasn't set up, so we can go ahead and XO that out. Yep. All right. Let's see. Okay.
Track and field or cross track and field.
People see the championships, but what they don't see, what did it actually take to build this?
It took time. It took, first of all, our athletic director trusting in me, but at the same time giving me the opportunity to be able to build, track and field athletes look and say, hey, you know what? They actually have, not only do they offer.
We're going to have to do some, I don't like that audio. I can hear echo. So we got to figure that part out to get them aligned as best as possible. Because they should be able to be aligned just perfectly. Let's see real quick. We move this over. I may have actually not. Let me see real quick. Let's see what happens when we sync to the waveform, if it moves at all. Nope, it didn't. So right now, DaVinci is saying, hey, this thing is aligned about as best as it could. But now looking at this, man, you see this right here? Like just looking at, just check out the waveform. Check out the waveform. So you see, when I see this right here, that stands out to me, right? And it stands out because it looks like it's right about there. So watch this. Let's see if I can't put a marker on it.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see if I can't put a marker on that. And then put a marker on it down here. And then line the markers up.
Next thing, put the light on is.
Alright, now let's see if I can get the markers to snap in line and see what happens.
open house to see, hey, what is the secret sauce to Episcopal, or maybe when it comes to Episcopal athletics, they'll come by the table, parents and their children, prospective.
Nope, that doesn't do it. I think we might actually just be where we supposed to be.
Well, do you guys have pole vault? Do you have a pole vault coach? And it's interesting to see, how the parents and prospective families and their children, track and field athletes, coach it, or somebody that can coach shot put, disc, or somebody that can coach hurdle. So even though we have the program is well over 100 student athletes now, boys and girls, we can safely say that their student athlete, their son or daughter, they're not a number, just a number in our program. They're going to get individualized attention both at practice and at competition.
Well, look, tell me something. Yes, indeed, feed the needy. All right, here we go. Yeah, I think we're good to go. Put everything back. And I guess we go through. And like I said, so being that this one right here is, we got quite a bit. I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and end it here now so I can really kind of sit down with this one, because I only want to have to cut this one right here one time, and I also want to be able to take a little more time. I know, it can kind of get a little boring, but I really just kind of want to be able to show you exactly what my process was on this. And that is, to get the clips, from all cameras aligned, as best as you can, and then let the software kind of take over. Go ahead and get your A camera, your B camera, your C camera, get all those aligned. Just stack them up from, top to bottom. Then go ahead and sync the clips up themselves if you don't have any other audio that you need to sync inside the media pool. And once you've done that, remove all of the questions. Well, if the interviewer is not going to be on camera, then go ahead and remove all the questions. And once you've gone through to remove all of the questions, now you've got nothing but the actual sound bites. Go through the sound bites. Grab you an audio track. Place that audio track underneath, just by itself in an empty timeline, and start picking and choosing and plotting those sound bites that you have from all of those individual responses into building a story. And then once you've done that, you're going to have a lot of cuts in there. So we don't want to see any, jump cuts in there. So now, once you've done that, once you've built a timeline full of the story that you want to tell based off of the sound clips that you have, now you can go through and you can start putting in your B-roll. Cover those jump cuts out. Create you a few J cuts and L cuts to help you to get in and out of different situations and different parts of the story, and you're good to go. Polish that bad boy up. Make sure that you go in and do a final mix and master on your audio, but then tell that story the way that you need to tell it, and make sure you've got all of your pacing done, as well as just the way that you started and ended. But with all the questions, hopefully you got enough shots to be able to support. If you don't, go out and get them. Cut the jump cuts out, and use your B-roll, use all of that good shooting that you did on set to be able to go ahead and fully tell the story. But the interviews come first. You just don't want to spend a lot of time sitting there cutting out ahs and ums and stutters and things like that when you're trying to edit, because that will make you an inefficient editor. So, and look, I hope that this, has brought some added value to what it is that you do in your process. So, if you got any questions, feel free to holler.